A silent darkness stretched across the far rim of the galaxy, a place where even star maps ended and signals faded into nothing. For years, this edge had been peaceful, visited only by lonely traders or explorers who loved the quiet. But that peace died the moment a strange fleet crossed into the empty border. Their ships were sharp, cold, and moved with the slow hunger of creatures that did not fear anything. The first to see them was the small Talari scout ship Varani's, traveling alone. The captain, Soro, was a calm and wise leader, known for never showing fear. But even he felt something cold in his chest when he looked at the enemy's shapes. On the long-range screen, they did not send a signal. They did not blink lights. They did not even change course. They only moved forward, as if the Varani's did not matter at all. Soro ordered the ship to stay hidden behind a drifting ice moon. The crew whispered to each other, all confused. No one had ever seen these ships before. No one even knew which species they belonged to. They looked like silent knives drifting through the dark. The Talari crew watched as the unknown fleet turned toward a Talari colony world. Soro's hands shook for a moment, but he kept his voice steady. The Varani's had to warn someone. They had to get a message out. But the enemy's ships moved faster than the Talari expected. One moment, they were passing the ice moon. The next, a blinding beam of red light spread across the void. The Varani's trembled as the beam scraped across its shields. The enemy had found them. Panic burned through the small ship. Soro ordered full speed, told the crew to send a distress call, anything, anyone, even if the chances were small. As the ship ran, it shook again and again under the violent attacks. Panels broke, sparks flew, and part of the hallway collapsed, trapping the engineers who screamed for help. But no one could reach them. The enemy ships did not stop. They chased the Varani's like hunters chasing wounded prey. Soro knew the truth: his ship was not going to survive. The enemy was too strong, too fast, too precise. All he could do now was hope the distress signal reached someone before the Varani's fell apart. Hours passed. The attack slowed. The unknown fleet suddenly changed direction and moved away. The Varani's was left drifting, half broken, lost in the deep dark. Many crew members were hurt. Some were missing. The engines were dying. The air systems were failing. The Varani's was no longer a ship, it was a floating grave. But something strange happened. The distress beacon kept blinking. It was weak, but it still reached out, calling into the empty void. Soro watched the falling signal's strength and felt his chest tighten. He wondered if anyone would hear it. He wondered if any friendly species were even close enough to listen. Most species did not travel this far into the rim. It was too empty, too silent, and the Talari had no nearby allies. Their best hope was a miracle, and miracles were rare in dark space. Hours slowly became a day. The Varani's drifted with no power. The temperature dropped. Frost formed on the walls. The crew sat quietly, wrapped in emergency blankets, waiting for the end. Many of them cried softly, not from pain, but from the heavy fear of dying so far from home. Soro stayed awake the whole time. He watched the stars outside the cracked window. He wondered who the enemy's ships were, why they attacked without a word, and what they wanted. He wondered what would happen to Talari space if those ships reached the colonies. He thought about sending one last message to his family, but the communication system was dead. All he could do was wait. All he could do was hope. Then, something unexpected happened. The ship's old motion sensor lit up with a weak blue flash. At first, Soro thought it was a glitch, but the blue signal appeared again, and again, and again. Something large was approaching from the dark. The crew looked up, their tired eyes suddenly wide with fear. Was it the same enemy returning to finish them? Was this the moment the Varani's would finally be broken apart? The sensor beeped weakly and displayed a symbol no Talari had seen in decades. A symbol of a species many believed to be distant, quiet, and rarely seen in this part of the galaxy. It was the symbol of humans. The bridge became silent. No one spoke. No one moved. The humans did not usually patrol this deep. Their ships were seen near trade posts or military lines, not this far out in cold space. But the signal was clear. It was a human vessel, and it was coming fast. The Varani's crew stared at the sensor as the human ship grew closer, its energy signature strong, bright, and full of life. For the first time since the attack, Soro felt a small spark of hope. He whispered a soft line, barely louder than a breath. Someone heard us. And the drifting ship waited to see what humanity would do next. The air inside the broken Talari ship felt heavy as the human vessel drew closer. No one on the Varani's spoke. They all watched the drifting stars through the cracked window, waiting for something to happen. For a moment, even the fear from the earlier attack faded into a quiet stillness. The crew had heard many stories about humans, some good, some frightening, but none of them had ever met one in deep space. Now a human ship was heading straight toward them, as fast as a falling comet. Slowly, a shadow formed outside the damaged panels of the Varanies. At first, it looked like a small bright dot, but it grew bigger and bigger until its full shape filled the window. It was a massive human cruiser, armored and strong, with engines glowing like blue fire. Every damaged part of the Varanies lit up with reflections from its powerful lights. Zoro felt his breath catch. Human ships were famous for being bold, direct, and ready for war. This one looked like it could fight an entire fleet alone, but the humans did not open fire. They did not circle around like predators. Instead, they slowed down and held position, steady and calm. A warm, clear signal appeared on the comm screen. It was simple and peaceful. A known vessel. This is the Human Alliance cruiser Artemis. We received your distress call. Hold position. We are here to help. The Talari crew froze. The voice was strong, deep, and controlled. Even though the translation device made it sound mechanical, something in the tone felt reassuring, almost protective. Some Talari crew members started crying quietly, not out of fear, or relief. SO or O focused and tried to answer, but the communication system sparked again. The microphone barely worked. He leaned close and spoke softly. This is Captain Zoro of the Talari scout ship Varanies. We are heavily damaged. Life support failing. Many injured. There was a short pause. Then the human voice returned, firm and sharp. Understood, Varanies. We are sending a rescue team. Prepare for boarding. The words felt like a lifeline thrown across a dark ocean. The Talari ship shook softly as the human cruiser extended docking arms. Loud metallic clanks echoed through the halls. The emergency lights flickered as foreign power connected to the Varanies. For the first time in days, the air systems hummed weakly, drawing in fresh oxygen. Moments later, the inner door slid open and the Talari crew tensed. Heavy steps approached. Figures appeared in the smoke-filled hallway hall, strong, wearing thick armor with glowing visors. Human rescue marines. Their presence filled the narrow space like a wave of protection. Even though their armor looked intimidating, the humans moved slowly, carefully. Trying not to frighten the weak Talari crew, one human stepped forward. He removed his helmet, revealing a face marked with calm focus and tired eyes. He looked at Zoro, and the Talari captain felt the same sense of steady strength he heard in the human's voice. I'm Commander Hale, the human said. We're here to get your people out. No one is dying on my watch. Zoro, weak and exhausted, nodded. Thank you. We thought we were alone. No one's alone out here, Hale replied. Not while we're around. The humans immediately went to work. Some carried medical packs and started helping the injured. Others lifted heavy debris with ease, freeing the trapped engineers from the crushed corridor. The Talari watched in awe. Humans were shockingly strong for their size. One human medic knelt beside a Talari officer, checking his breathing. You're safe now, she said softly. Just stay awake. We've got you. Another human used a plasma torch to cut through collapsed metal panels. Their movements were precise, fast, and filled with purpose. The Talari had never seen such fearless dedication in action. Zoro followed Commander Hale toward the bridge. The human commander looked at the broken controls and the dark screens. You took heavy fire, Hale said quietly. Who attacked you? We don't know, Zoro answered. They had no markings, no signals, only silence. Hale frowned. They didn't try to communicate? Not even once. The human commander looked troubled, but his voice stayed steady. We'll look into it after we get you to safety. But before they could move, the sensor panel on the human's arm lit up with a sharp alarm. Hale stared at it with narrowed eyes. What is it? Zoro asked, his stomach tightening. Hale didn't answer right away. He tapped the screen again, scanning the data. Then he finally spoke. Something's coming. Zoro felt cold fear rise again. Is it the same fleet? We don't know yet, Hale said. But whatever it is, it's big, and it's fast. The Talari crew, hearing the warning, started whispering in panic. The humans quickly took positions, calm and ready. The Artemis sent a warning message through the docking tunnel. All teams, return at once. Unknown contacts approaching, the humans began guiding the Talari toward the docking point. Some carried injured crew in their arms. Others shielded the group from falling debris as the ship trembled again. Zoro stayed close to Hale, Will your ship protect us? Hale looked straight ahead, voice cold and steady. The Artemis can handle anything. The hallway shook again. Harder this time, dot lights dimmed. A deep, distant sound echoed through the metal walls. Like thunder rolling through space. The enemy, whoever they were, had followed, and they were close. The shaking of the ship grew stronger as Sorrow and the rest of the Talari crew moved through the narrow halls toward the human cruiser. The humans stayed calm even as dust fell from the ceiling and weak lights flickered on and off. Commander Hale kept one hand on the small device on his wrist, reading the updates from the Artemis. Sorrow noticed that Hale's eyes sharpened every time the device beeped. Something dangerous was closing in. When they reached the docking passage, the Talari crew stepped inside one by one, guided by human marines. The metal tube connecting the two ships shook violently as the unknown enemy came closer. A few Talari stumbled, but the humans grabbed their arms and steadied them without hesitation. Once everyone was inside, the heavy doors slid shut behind them. The Talari entered the human cruiser and felt a sudden change in atmosphere. The air was clean, warm, and filled with a soft humming sound from the powerful engines. The walls glowed with steady blue lights. Even in the middle of danger, the human ship felt alive, strong, and protected. Human medical officers rushed to check the injured Talari. Some used small handheld tools that emitted bright lights and soft sounds. The Talari watched, amazed. Human technology felt different, not elegant or delicate, but bold and extremely effective. Commander Hale spoke into his wrist again. Bridge, status, a calm voice replied. Multiple unknown ships detected. Closing fast. No response to Hale's. Weapons active. Sorrow's stomach tightened. These had to be the same attackers. Silent, merciless, hunting them again. Hale turned to him. How many chased you earlier? 8, Sorrow replied. But they moved as if they were one mind. Hale nodded slowly. These are matching that pattern. The human commander walked toward the lift and gestured for Sorrow to follow. You should see this from the bridge. Sorrow hesitated, his legs still weak, but he followed. The lift rose quickly, and the doors opened into a large space filled with screens, officers, and bright displays. Humans worked calmly at their stations, focused and unshaken by the threat approaching. The main screen showed the darkness of space. At first it looked empty, then small red dots appeared, moving fast. Too fast. The human captain, a stern woman with sharp eyes, stood in front of the display. She turned when Hale entered. Commander, she said, looked like we found who attacked our guests. Hale stood beside her. Or they found us. Sorrow watched the red dots turn into shapes dark. Deadly shapes he remembered too well. The same silent enemy ships, moving toward them like blades cutting through the void. The human captain crossed her arms. No response to communications. Same as before. They want a fight, and they'll get one. Hale said. So or O looked between them, confused. You are not running? The captain raised an eyebrow. Running? We don't run. Captain Sorrow. Sorrow blinked. The Varanis had been torn apart in minutes by these same attackers. But the humans were not afraid. They were preparing to fight. Inside the bridge, tension rose as the enemy ships closed in. Human officers moved quickly, checking weapons, engine power, and shield strength. The captain gave orders. All batteries online. Shields to full. Prepare broadside. Sorrow felt something stir inside him, something he hadn't felt since before the attack. Hope mixed with disbelief. Could one human ship fight the silent enemy and win? The screen flashed as the enemy ships finally came into clear view. Their sharp hulls glowed with faint red lines. They spread out in a perfect formation, silent and cold. The human captain stared at them. They're not here for negotiation. Fire warning shots. Bright blue streaks shot from the Artemis. They sliced across the darkness and exploded near the enemy fleet. Any normal ships would turn away, surprised or cautious. These did not. They accelerated. Sorrow grabbed the edge of a console. The enemy had not even paused. They moved forward without fear, ready to destroy. The human captain's voice became colder. Target lead ship. Fire for effect. The Artemis answered with a roar. Massive energy beams blasted through the void, striking the first enemy vessel dead center. The explosion was so bright that the entire bridge lit up in white light. When the shine faded, the enemy ship was gone, reduced to floating fragments. But the others did not slow down. They came closer, weapons glowing with deadly red fire. The human captain didn't blink. All weapons, free fire. The Artemis unleashed a storm of power. Blue beams, missiles, and cannon bursts tore through the void. Human technology showed its true strength: raw, powerful, overwhelming. 2 more enemy ships exploded. Another lost a wing and spun into darkness, but the enemy fired back. Red beams hit the Artemis. The bridge trembled. Lights flickered. Zoro stumbled as the ship shook from the impact. Shields at 70%. A human officer shouted, "Compensate and keep firing," the captain ordered. The humans fought like a force of nature, fearless, fast, and relentless. Every shot they fired was precise. Every movement was controlled. Zoro watched in shock. He had never seen any species fight with such fierce determination, such bravery. The humans were not only powerful, they were unstoppable. Another enemy ship broke apart under the human fire, but then something unexpected happened. One enemy vessel slipped past the main battle line. It moved directly toward the Talari crew section on the lower deck. Glowing with dangerous red power, Zoro felt his blood run cold. It was aiming at the rescued survivors. Commander Hale shouted, "They know where the Talari are." The human captain slammed her hand on the console. Redirect power stopped that ship, but the enemy was already too close. The Artemis fired, but it might not be enough. The enemy ship charged toward the lower deck with deadly speed. Its red glow brightened like a burning sun, and every Talari survivor felt the heat of fear rise inside their chests. They had just escaped death once, and now it was coming again, racing straight for them. Human security officers on the lower deck shouted orders. "Move, move. Get behind the barriers." They pushed the Talari survivors behind thick armored walls. Some Talari cried, some trembled, some whispered small prayers. They all knew one thing: this enemy did not show mercy. Up on the bridge, Commander Hale looked at the screen with sharp eyes. "That ship knows exactly where the civilians are. This is not random." The human captain nodded. "They're targeting survivors." Zoro felt his legs weaken. "Why?" "We are no threat," Hale answered without looking away from the battlefield. "Maybe they want to finish what they started." The enemy vessel fired a long burst of red energy. The beam cut through space like a burning blade and hit the Artemis with full force. The entire cruiser shook so violently that Zoro fell to his knees. Human officers grabbed onto their consoles to stay upright. Sparks flew from the ceiling. The human officer monitoring shields shouted loudly, "Shields at 40%. That hit was direct." The captain's voice was calm, but sharp. "Focus fire on that ship. It doesn't get another chance." The Artemis fired, but the enemy ship twisted in an unnatural way, moving with an agility no organic crewed ship should have. It avoided the blasts and kept charging. In the lower deck, the Talari survivors heard the sound of impacts echoing through the walls. Children hid behind their parents. A few humans stood in front of them with raised weapons, ready to defend them even if it cost their lives. One Talari elder whispered, "Humans. They stand like shields." A human Marine heard him and gave a small nod. "That's what we do." The enemy ship came closer and closer until it filled the lower deck camera feed with its dark shape. Its weapons glowed redder and redder. It was preparing a final shot, one strong enough to break through the hull. Up on the bridge, the captain spoke fast. "Bring the forward cannon online." An officer replied, "It's charging, but it needs more time. Give it everything." Engine power shifted, lights dimmed, and the entire ship groaned as the massive forward cannon prepared to fire. The enemy noticed the change and increased speed, trying to hit first. Commander Hale's voice hardened. "We're down to seconds." Zoro felt helpless. All he could do was stand behind Hale and watch. The enemy ship stopped moving for a brief moment. The red light on its front grew brighter and brighter. It was fully charged, impact in 5 seconds. Someone yelled. The human captain's eyes flashed. "Fire!" The Artemis shot its forward blast with a deafening roar. A bright blue beam erupted, shaking the entire cruiser. The blast crossed the distance and struck the enemy head-on. The enemy ship exploded. The red light vanished in an instant, replaced by a huge fireball spreading across space. Debris scattered in every direction. The lower deck stopped shaking. Dust settled. Silence returned. The Talari survivors slowly opened their eyes. A human Marine spoke through the intercom. "All clear. The threat is destroyed." The Talari cried, not from fear, but relief. Many of them held their rescuers' hands, thanking them with trembling voices. On the bridge, Zoro turned to Hale. "You saved us again." Hale shook his head. "Not me. The entire crew did." But the human captain didn't relax. Her eyes stayed on the screen. "That was only one ship," she said. "How many remain?" Long-range sensors highlighted for more enemy vessels. They were regrouping, slowly circling the battle zone like predators preparing for another attack. Hale spoke softly. They're learning our movements. Soro felt his throat tighten. They learn? The captain nodded. They're not fighting like normal crews. They moved to perfectly, to silently. Soro remembered how the Talari ship had been attacked. They made no sound. They sent no signal. They followed without rest. The human captain exchanged a serious look with Hale. Something was becoming clear. This enemy might not be alive in the way most species understood life. Hale's wrist device beeped again. Captain, scans show no biological signatures. None at all. Then what are they? Soro asked in a quiet voice. The captain answered in a cold tone. Machines. War machines. The idea chilled Soro. Machines that hunted life. Machines that did not stop until everything was destroyed. Machines that moved with deadly precision and no fear of death. The humans understood the danger instantly. Hale turned to the crew. Prepare for the next wave. They won't stop now. The bridge lights turned red. Humans rushed to their positions, preparing to fight again. Soro looked at them, these strange, strong beings who stood between his people and death. The Talari had always thought of humans as distant, unpredictable, maybe even wild. But now he saw something else. Humans were protectors. Humans were fighters. Humans never gave up, even when darkness closed around them. As the enemy ships approached again, Soro whispered to himself, this is why the galaxy fears them. But he also understood something deeper. This is why the galaxy needs them. The humans stood ready. The enemy machines closed in, and the battle for survival continued. The alien crew sat in silence as the strange human code repeated again and again. The message was short, but the voice was calm, steady, and full of power. Unidentified vessel, hold position. We are coming. Zyron felt his hands shake. Humans. They know we're here, he whispered. Mira stared at the dark window. But how? No beacon. No distress wave. Nothing. Captain Rowe finally spoke. Because humans hear things no one else can. Their scanners reach farther. Their systems guess patterns our minds cannot follow. This is why other empires fear them. The lights inside the alien ship flickered again. The power core was losing strength fast. If it died completely, life support would fall next. A low alarm echoed. Core temperature dropping. Zyron reported. We have maybe 40 minutes. 40 minutes before the cold of deep space swallowed them. Suddenly, the message changed. Not just a voice. A human face appeared on the cracked display. A young human officer looked at them with sharp, intelligent eyes. I see you're in serious trouble, he said. We'll reach your position soon. Keep calm. Don't try to move. We've locked onto your ship. Mira's mouth opened. They can see us, even through interference, Ro muttered. Human tech is different. But then the screen glitched. The human officer leaned forward. There's something else near you. Something we cannot identify. Stay inside your ship. Do not open any hatch. The screen cut to static. Zyron's heart froze. Captain, what does that mean? What is near us? Captain Ro stared into the dark void outside their window. And for the first time, fear filled his eyes. We are not alone out here, he said quietly. And humans may not be the only ones coming. The alien ship drifted in silence after the human signal ended. The cold metal walls groaned as the power core weakened again. Zyron checked the holo panel, but half the symbols were dead or flickering. Captain, whatever is outside is moving, he said in a shaking voice. Captain Ro stepped closer to the main window. At first, he saw nothing but black space. Then, something shifted in the darkness. A faint shape, a shadow with no light of its own. It glided, slow and silent, like a creature that did not want to be seen. Mira backed away from the window. It's watching us. Zyron swallowed hard. Do you think it's one of the hunters? The ones that killed the fleets in the outer rings? Ro shook his head. No, this one is different. It feels patient. The ship lights flickered again. A thin layer of frost appeared on the edges of the walls. The temperature was dropping fast. We have 30 minutes left, Zyron whispered. Then the unknown shape outside moved closer. No engine sound, no signal, no heat, just movement smooth and unnatural. Mira grabbed the rail beside her. If it wanted to attack, why is it waiting? Because it knows we can't run, Ro said quietly. The display suddenly crackled to life. Static filled the screen. Then a picture formed. The same human officer appeared, but this time his face looked harder, more serious. Alien vessel. Respond if you can, he said. His image flickered. The interference was stronger. Now Captain Rowe tried to send a reply, but the comm panel sparked violently. The smell of burnt wires filled the air. We cannot respond, Captain, Siren said. They could see us, but we cannot answer. The human officer seemed to realize this. His voice deepened. Listen carefully. There is a stealth object near your ship. Our scanners cannot fully read it. Keep all lights dim. Do not send out any signals. We are coming in fast. The screen cut again. Mira stared at the dark window. Why do humans sound scared? Humans never sound scared. They're not scared, Roll said. They're focused. And that means this thing outside is dangerous. The shadow outside shifted again, closer than before. Siren felt the hairs on his arms rise. It's trying to scan us, he said. I can feel the system reacting. Some kind of field is passing through the hole. The metal floor trembled softly. Then something touched the ship. A slow, scraping sound moved across the outer hull, like claws dragging over steel. Mira covered her ears, shaking. It's climbing on us, she whispered. Captain Rowe kept his eyes on the window. No, it's searching. The scraping moved again, stopping near the airlock. Siren's entire body stiffened. Captain, it's examining our entrance, as if it wants to know how to get inside. Mira stepped back several feet. We cannot open that hatch. No matter what happens, we won't, Rose said firmly. But then the ship shook again, this time from a different force. Not the creature, something else. A deep, powerful vibration rolled through the hull, and the darkness outside flashed blue for a moment. Siren ran to the window. Something lit up outside. That was not the creature. Rose felt a small shock of hope. That was a human engine. They're close. The creature sensed it. It peeled away from the ship suddenly, floating backward like a ghost retreating into the dark. Its shape shifted again, almost melting into the shadows. Mira peered into the window. It's hiding. Siren's voice rose, filled with fear. Hiding from humans. The creature vanished completely. Then bright light filled the window. A massive human cruiser burst through the dark engines, glowing like blue suns. Metal shining strong and alive. The alien crew stared in awe. Humans always arrived like storms, loud, powerful, impossible to ignore. The human officer's voice returned through the broken speakers, this time strong and clear. We see the unknown object retreating. Lock down your ship and stay away from all doors. We're docking now, Mira whispered. They came. They really came. Ro nodded slowly. Humans always come when the void grows to silent. The alien ship rocked gently as the human cruiser connected to their airlock. The docking arms locked in place with loud metallic clanks. Boots echoed through the airlock tunnel. Heavy, confident steps. Human steps. The hatch opened. A group of humans entered, armor glowing, helmets reflecting blue light. Their presence filled the small alien ship instantly. The same human officer from the screen stepped forward. His eyes scanned the dark hallway. You're safe now, he said. We'll take you aboard our ship. Siren looked at him with wide eyes. There was something outside. It touched the hull. The human officer nodded calmly. We saw it. Mira asked, what was it? The officer's face turned serious. We're not sure yet, but it reacted to your power signature, and it ran the moment our engines lit up. Roll understood. It feared you. The human finally met his eyes. It feared the light. Another human marine spoke behind him. Captain, scanners show is still in the area. Watching, the officer nodded. We will handle it. He turned back to the aliens. You're coming with us. You don't have to face this thing alone. For the first time since the attack began, Captain Rowe breathed deeply. Humans had come. Humans had seen the danger, and humans did not run. The alien crew waited as the human ship pulled their damaged vessel toward safety. Every minute felt long, but the danger was finally behind them. The strange creature from the void was gone, destroyed by the human blast that lit up the darkness like a newborn star. Siren watched the human ship through the window. They saved us, he whispered. They did not know us, but they saved us. Mira shook her head slowly. Why would humans risk their own lives for strangers? Captain Roll answered before anyone else could. Because humans do not ask who you are before helping. They only see life and they protect it. That is their strength. Soon the comm screen turned on again. The same human officer appeared, this time smiling. You're safe now, he said. We are taking you to our nearest station for repairs. Your people will be contacted soon. Siren stepped forward, trying to stay steady. Thank you for everything. The officer nodded. Out here in the void, no one should face danger alone. The alien crew felt something warm inside their chests. Not fear, not shock, something else, hope. Hours later, the two ships broke free from the dark region of space.